Endocrine system. The survival of all living organisms depends on sensing and responding to the changes taking place in the surroundings. The endocrine system is responsible for communicating, controlling, and coordinating various functions of the body. It functions along with other systems present in our body. The endocrine system consists of certain glands that secrete hormones to work on various sites. As body's chemical messengers, these hormones transfer information and instructions from one set of cells to another. Different types of hormones cause different effects on various sites of the body. Endocrine glands lack ducts and pass their secretions into the surrounding blood for transport to the site of action. They are also called ductless glands. Endocrine glands. They are located in different parts of the body. There are 8 major endocrine glands scattered at various locations in the body. All these are considered to be one system because they have similar functions but act on specific organs. These glands are pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas gland, thymus gland, and gonads present in testes in males and ovaries in females. Let's know about each gland in this module. Hypothalamus, which is actually a part of the brain, controls secretion of endocrine glands. Hypothalamus is the basal part of forebrain. It secretes certain chemicals which stimulate one of the endocrine glands, pituitary, for secreting and inhibiting hormone production. Hypothalamus actually controls the production of hormones secreted by the pituitary gland and thus regulates various functions. Pituitary gland, present just beneath the brain, is an endocrine gland. It is about the size of a pea. It is divided into an anterior lobe, an intermediate lobe, and a posterior lobe, all of which are involved in the hormone production. The pituitary gland is very important as it takes messages from the hypothalamus. These messages help pituitary in enhancing or reducing the speed or quantity of hormones the gland produces. The hormones produced by pituitary gland affect the functioning of all the other hormone-producing glands. For this reason, pituitary gland is often referred to as the master gland of the body. The pituitary gland is involved in several functions of the body, including growth hormone production. It produces the hormones that act on the other endocrine glands. It stores the hormones produced by the hypothalamus. The pineal is a very small gland lying between the two cerebral hemispheres of the brain. Although it's very tiny gland, but produces several important hormones. The most significant of these is melatonin, a hormone which regulates your sleep cycle. Melatonin is released in the dark during sleep. It also plays a critical role in aging and the diseases associated with aging. Melatonin has been reported to have significant effects on reproduction, sleep-wake cycles, and thus known as the hormone of darkness. The thyroid gland is found in front of the trachea, that is windpipe in your neck. It surrounds the front of the larynx and upper part of the trachea in the neck. The gland is divided into two lobes and is connected in the middle by a thin bridge of thyroid tissue known as isthmus. The primary function of thyroid gland is to secrete thyroid hormones, which are responsible for controlling your body's metabolism. The thyroid hormones are involved in regulating many functions such as your heart rate, how quickly you burn calories, and digestion. The pituitary prompts the thyroid to make its hormones, including thyroxine. However, the thyroid cannot manufacture its hormones without sufficient dietary iodine. Foods that are naturally rich in iodine include seafood and plants grown in iodine-rich soil. Iodized salt is another good source of dietary iodine. If a person's diet is low in iodine, the pituitary keeps sending chemical messages to the thyroid. But thyroid is not able to secrete hormones. The thyroid gland enlarges as it attempts to meet the pituitary's demands. It leads to a medical problem known as goiter. Goiter is an enlarged thyroid gland and is associated with an abnormality of thyroid function. Although goiters are usually painless, a large goiter can cause a cough and make it difficult for you to swallow or breathe. We can say that iodine is very important for the proper functioning of the thyroid gland. It is needed for the synthesis of thyroid hormones. Parathyroid glands. These are situated on the posterior surface of the thyroid lobes. The parathyroids are four small, flat, oval glands, two on each side. The parathyroids secrete a hormone, parathormone, that plays a significant role in calcium balance in the body. The thymus gland is a lobular structure located on the dorsal side of the heart and the aorta. The thymus plays a major role in the development of the immune system. This gland secretes a hormone called thymosin that stimulates the development of T lymphocytes, a type of white blood cell that plays a central role in cell-mediated immunity. Thymus degenerates in old individuals, resulting in a decreased production of thymosin. As a result, the immune responses of old people become weak. The adrenals are paired glands placed on the top of the kidneys. These are yellowish in color and composed of two layers. The centrally located tissue is called adrenal medulla, and outer to it lies the adrenal cortex. Two main hormones produced by adrenal glands are cortisol and aldosterone. Cortisol and aldosterone are classified as steroid hormones. Cortisol helps the body respond to stress and helps to regulate blood pressure and blood sugar levels. Aldosterone also contributes to blood pressure control and helps to manage the amount of salt and potassium in the body. Pancreas. The pancreas is an oblong flattened gland located deep in the abdomen. It lies beneath the stomach and is connected to the small intestine at the duodenum. The pancreas produces the body's several important enzymes. This gland is a dual-function gland having features of both endocrine and exocrine glands. As an endocrine gland, the pancreas secretes the hormones insulin and glucagon to control blood sugar levels in our blood. The pancreas is very close to the stomach. As soon as food is eaten, the pancreas releases digestive enzymes to break down food. As the food is digested, the pancreas produces insulin to help the body store the glucose in the form of energy. Between meals, the pancreas does not produce insulin, and this allows the body to gradually release stored energy back into the blood as needed. Glucose levels remain very stable in the blood at all times to ensure that the body has a steady supply of energy. The testes, also known as testicles or male gonads, lie in a pouch of skin called scrotum. The testes perform two functions: to produce sperm and to produce hormones, particularly testosterone. Testosterone affects many of the male characteristics like bone and muscle development, growth of body hair including facial hair. It also influences change of vocal cords to produce the adult male voice and sperm production. The ovary is a pair of reproductive glands in women that are located in the pelvis, one on each side of the uterus. The woman's ovaries are located on both the sides of the uterus below the opening of fallopian tubes. The ovaries produce estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen stimulates the development and maturation of sex organs of female and also regulates the sexual behavior. Progesterone supports pregnancy and also acts on the mammary gland and stimulates milk secretion. Overall, these two hormones affect many of the female secondary sexual characteristics and reproductive functions. The secretion of hormones is regulated by a feedback mechanism. The feedback mechanism is controlled by the hypothalamus present in the brain. A feedback mechanism is the process through which the level of one substance influences the level of another or activity of another organ. Imagine you are strolling on a hot summer day. The sun rises higher in the sky and it is quite hot all around. Your body senses that your internal temperature is rising above 37 degrees centigrade and you start to sweat. This reduces your body temperature by evaporating water from your skin, returning your temperature to normal. Negative feedback mechanisms push a system back to its original natural position. For smooth working of most of the human systems, negative feedback mechanism is usually very helpful. The pancreas is an endocrine gland which produces hormones which regulate blood glucose levels. The control of blood glucose levels operates by a negative feedback mechanism. When the blood glucose level goes up, the pancreas detects the blood glucose rise. The pancreas pumps out insulin into the blood. Insulin helps the uptake of glucose into body cells. This lowers the blood glucose level to a normal set point, and the pancreas detects the fall and switches off insulin production. When the blood glucose level goes down, blood sugar, that is glucose, drops. Pancreas detects it and switches on the output of glucagon into the blood. Glucagon signals the liver to break down glycogen into glucose. The liver releases glucose into the bloodstream, and blood glucose goes up to its normal set point, and the pancreas detects the rise in blood sugar and switches off glucagon release. This is how the blood glucose level is maintained in the body through a negative feedback mechanism.